7 suspects have been arrested for allegedly operating a kidnapping syndicate through the dating app Grindr. The syndicate targets the LGBTQIA+ community at Wits University. In fact, in the latest attack, an 18-year-old student was kidnapped and his family called to pay a 30,000 rand ransom. The student was found unconscious and tied up at the Denver hostel in Johannesburg yesterday. Police say their investigations into the syndicate will continue, and they've urged members of the public to be alert on dating sites. Let's unpack this further. We're joined this morning by Wits' acting SRC president, Kamogelo Mabe, joined us in studio. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming on. What a worrying story.
Morning, Michelle. Morning to the viewers. It's definitely a worrying story, especially when you speak firstly as a student. Beyond our leadership roles, we speak as students and most importantly as community members. So you can imagine, just as a normal citizen, these things happening, you really worry that what is it that is leading us to such instances for young people to be kidnapped for simply being expressive and owning their identity.
Are we going as far as to say this morning that the Wits LGBTQIA+ community is under threat?
I would say that because one thing that is very unique about the Wits LGBTIQ+ community, especially because we always call them and label them under Wits Activate. They're one of the most outspoken, LGBTQI+ communities in the country, and they really speak about issues also on a global platform. So you can just imagine that they are under serious threat because every year in, year out, they own their identity, go out to the streets, and really celebrate their own identity. So I would say that they are highly under threat at this point.
Aside from this case, and thankfully it ended with police rescuing this 18-year-old student, very worrying details coming out just how this arrest happened. He was found tied up and unconscious, but he has now been reunited with his family. Are other cases, or have other cases been linked to Wits University?
So there hasn't been, fortunately there hasn't been another case that is linked to Wits University. However, I remember even when I was speaking to one of my colleagues, I said, look, there has been another kidnapping, and then they simply said another one. Whereas over the weekend we had also another alarming case. Whether it is linked to this kind of matter, we don't know as yet. We are yet to also, look further into the matter. We are communicating with the university as well, various the campus control, for instance, to find out as to what are the stats, what is currently happening. But we are worried at this point. I think even one case is too many for us because we try to keep our campus safe. So when we go out into the communities and go out into the streets and then we are threatened by such actions, we need to actually have that cautious eye.
Yeah. I mean, hypervigilance is now what is needed, right? And I reckon that's the message that you're sending out to your student population.
Indeed. And it is saddening because we allow students, to go out and express themselves. Also, I think the student being on this platform with the Grindr app, it is a way to express themselves. But how are we then going to also live if we, you go out to social media, you want to express yourself, you want to, explore avenues, and then you are actually threatened by such actions. So where are we supposed to live? Where are we supposed to exist?
Yeah, I mean, this is advice that that police will be giving to users of dating apps in general, right? Because it is largely anonymous. I mean, you're depending on the honesty of the person on the other end of that conversation.
True, and catfishing is a real thing. I think beyond even the Grindr app, it is a real thing, In many instances, we find people are catfished. So these apps, the anonymity of it, I really wish that there was some form of tracking system as well that was involved. For instance, they were going for a meet-up, and then they met up with such a vile situation. And fortunately, we have people like the roommate who was there. So I think other means are, that we'd encourage students.
The roommate sounded the alarm immediately, right?
I think one of the ways that we'd encourage students is that wherever you are going, I think there should be someone who at least knows about your whereabouts. Because fortunately enough, they were found before anything extreme could happen. Because why? The roommate alerted the necessary people that needed to intervene in this, case. So think in every avenue that we go to, be it social outings or whatsoever, there really needs to be some form of tracking system that we can be able to have so that we can know about our whereabouts and the loved ones.
Go as far as to take someone with you, you know. Let someone know exactly where you are. Always have a way out is also the advice that's been given by authorities. Kamogelo, Mabe, let me thank you for your time. Thanks for coming into studio this morning. Wits University's acting SRC president, as we continue to track this apparent syndicate that police are now tracking. They're being linked to 85 other similar kidnapping cases. After this 18-year-old Wits student was kidnapped, he's since been rescued.